Welcome, Tony, to the Uncommon Truth and co-hosting today on a special topic of health and us working through and talking about the four pillars of health and and how those affect our life in this time of COVID-19, restricted lifestyle and movement, and just how we as individuals are dealing with that circumstance and some recommendations. So basically the four pillars are this. One, breathe. Air. We got to do deep breathing and it will change our physiology significantly. And that can be done through meditation and many other types of breathing exercises. Wim Hof is an example of someone who's become quite famous for his breathing exercises. Two, hydration. As you said, we're 90% water. And drinking fluids is not hydration. It's water that we're talking about when we talk about hydration. A lot of us think that we don't need it, but coffee and tea and et cetera are that. But the real truth is, if we get in good, clean water, it has massive benefits to us. Three, it's obviously nutrition and our diet. What the plate is I've heard it said that the plate is the best medicine that you can have. And especially with a young child, as they're coming and have some physical challenges like your son or me with type 1 diabetes, it's called diabetes because of the diet, right? So what we're putting in. So how I'm eating and is really how all of us should be eating, in the sense of having to manage carbs, proteins, and making sure we're getting proper portions, and timing of everything is critical. And then the fourth pillar is exercise and rest with that. It's working the body and resting the body so that there's healing that goes on. But the priority starts with number one, breathe, because if you don't breathe in 3 minutes, you're dead. Then after that, hydration, because if you don't drink water, then the science says that you'll be dead in 3 days. And then nutrition is the old adage, if you don't eat in 3 days, right? You're going to starve 3 months, then you're going to end up expiring due to starvation. However, we can eat crap and still live a long life because of how amazing these bodies are at healing themselves. But the quality of that life, as we've talked about a lot already, is affected. That kind of segues into our question for the day, right? During this COVID-19 crisis, pandemic, and how do we get off the couch and affect change in the four pillars of health and look at this as an opportunity to create some new habits around it, because we're not going out to restaurants, our habits are changed, so therefore we have an opportunity to create new ones. So what's your thoughts on the four pillars of health? Do you agree with the priorities, and how do we use them to get off the couch and take action?
Nutrition is definitely foundational to everything. There's no question. It's like the fuel. It's like you put the crappy gas in a performance car, and it's just not going to work. I had a fitness instructor one time that he made us describe how we're feeling like every day, whether we feel like a Ferrari or whether we feel like a panel van. And he just talks about the fuel that you would use to run your Ferrari versus a panel van. And so it was a running joke on a team that we felt panel van-y some days. And, that was just kind of the way he reminded you that, like, if you want to feel like a Ferrari, you have to put performance fuel in your body. And if you stop putting garbage in there, you'll start to feel like a panel van. And so, nutrition is a big thing. And I think nutrition and sleep are two things that are subconsciously part of the friction that holds people back, right? If you are tired or you don't have the energy, it's that much harder to motivate yourself up over that hurdle to get out and go for a walk or go for a run or whatever your, training and fitness is. So you have to start there. Like, you have to start in the kitchen, and you have to start with good rest. And then there's no way around that, especially if you want to actually progress and actually measure things forward. And then in terms of, how you get off the couch, you really just have to start. It sounds simple, it sounds basic, but you got to start somewhere. And what a lot of people I think do is like, so, I run a CrossFit gym, and I've been in this space for a lot of times, and I hear it like repeatedly from new members to the CrossFit gym that say they didn't want to start CrossFit because they felt like they had to get in shape first to start doing CrossFit. And it's wildly incorrect. And the actual truth is, and like the mantra of the guy who created CrossFit was the 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 um, the needs, the fitness needs of our grandparents and Olympian athletes differ only in degree, not in kind. Right. So if you think about that at the most basic level, an Olympic athlete, they will be striving to deadlift, 500, 800, 1,000 pounds, whatever it is, giant weights. And for your grandma who is 94 years old, her deadlift is her putting her bag of groceries down at the front door to pull her key out of her pocket to unlock the front door, and then bending down to pick up that bag of bread and vegetables for the day to be able to do that. Right. At the very, most basic comparison, that's what she needs to do on a daily basis, right? And so if you can train that movement and give them the confidence that if they fall down on the ground, they can push themselves back up to parallel, or if they put a bag down, they can pick it back up and go up a set of stairs with it. That's a very, very powerful thing, right? And if people realize that just getting up off the couch can mean something as simple as standing up in your living room and doing an air squat, or doing these burpees where you literally just put yourself down on the ground however you get there and stand yourself back up however you get there using whatever objects can support you, that is a good enough. And over time, the human nature will take over and it will say, okay, now I'm going to do it without leaning on that step stool. Now I'm going to do it without stepping up. I'm going to try to jump my 2 feet up, right? And it's going to be a natural progression at your own weight. And in fact, if you go to CrossFit.com, actually all of their movement demos are done in an area called Grandma's Basement, I think. It's Grandma's house or Grandma's basement, something like that. And it's one of those old brown flowery couches with like a TV with rabbit ears and like an old school kitchen and stuff like that. And literally what it is a gentleman and a woman, probably somewhere in their 60s or their 80s or somewhere in there, and they get given a workout for the day. And it's the same workout that CrossFit will post for the rest of the world to do that day. So it'll be, full barbells and all that sort of stuff. But they'll show you how grandma can do the exact same workout using something like a jug of antifreeze and a step stool and a chair, and like just in their own living room. And so literally every day you'll see this, this old man and this old woman doing CrossFit workouts using no equipment and just their body weight in the living room. And it literally shows you that like there is no excuses and no barriers if you just want to do it. And whether it's CrossFit or something else, that's the point, is that it's about getting from 0 to 1 and then 1 to 2, not going from 0 to 10 and thinking that you got to take this giant jump. That's how you get started. That's how you get off the couch.
Nice. I think that's you said bang on the money. It's taking action and getting it and get going, and the body will adjust and adapt to become the body that you are at that time based on the activity and the input that you put in.